Good morning. Welcome to Yoga for Everybody. I'm your instructor, Skyla Ramirez. Go ahead and just notice if you want to lie down on your back, maybe bend your knees, or if you'd rather, you can go ahead and start seated. I recommend that you have a pillow or a yoga block nearby. That way you're able to elevate your hips. And as you elevate the hips, this could create more comfort for the low back. If you do choose to lie down on your back, you can always have a pillow under the head and the neck. If you're noticing any discomfort in your low back, let's say you've had some sciatica or maybe even some hip issues or tightness in your belly, even if you've been having digestion problems, so maybe you're feeling tight muscles clenching in the abdomen or the low back, take your feet out wide while you're lying on your back, then let the knees come in. So what this will do is hopefully it'll help to open and release tension in the low back, and we won't be pulling so much on the stomach or the trunk muscles. So get comfortable and just know that at any time you can move. So you can adjust your body to move towards comfort. And of course, at any time you can remain still. Whatever you do, do not try to clear your mind. The whole objective and the whole purpose of yoga is coming into a place where we're able to become aware of what's going on in the mind and non-reactive to it. So if anything, when your mind wanders, if you notice your mind wandering in the practice, first thing you do is congratulate yourself. So noticing that the mind is wandering, noticing our thoughts, that is the first objective. And then as we notice our thoughts, as we notice other distractions, these distractions could be from the body, from different sensations. The distractions can be from the environment. As you notice those distractions, take a moment to embrace stillness in that moment of awareness and know that you have a choice in how to respond to those distractions. So this is all about the art of awareness, making space between the awareness and the response. From wherever you are, let's start the awareness with the body, awareness of the body. Notice any parts of your body that might be speaking to you today. So sometimes the body speaks by way of subtle sensations. It could be cramps. It could be a heaviness. It could be an ease. Letting go of any judgment as to these sensations being good or bad, moving into a place where we are a little more objective and just studying the sensation. So it could be a heaviness that you notice in the body. It could be a lightness. And again, there is no good or bad in the awareness of this sensation. No matter where you are, place both hands on your belly. If you're noticing discomfort in your neck or shoulders, place the hands beside you with the palms up. Let's begin with diaphragmatic breathing, breathing down low into the lowest part of the lungs. As we inhale, we feel the belly expand. We feel the navel pushing away from the spine. And as we exhale, we simply relax the whole body. So there's only a little bit of effort on the inhale. Imagine an orb of light in your belly, perhaps a gold orb of light. Have a sense or a presence of energy between your belly button and spine. And as we inhale, we breathe in through the nose as much as possible. And that energy expands in the abdomen and in the belly 360 degrees. At the top of the breath, pause. Take a moment to notice the sensations that come with that fullness of the breath. When you're ready, exhale, let it all go. The exhale is completely effortless. On the next breath, inhale, pull the breath in through the nose as much as possible. Maybe even flare out your nostrils to draw the life force down into the belly. Expand through the stomach, and then exhale. Try exhaling from your throat as if there is a sigh of relief. As the breath comes up and out, the breath is going to carry with it any tension and any stress that might be trying to hide in the body. Let's try that maybe 3 or 4 more times. Exaggerate the inhale, big inhale. Pause, embrace the fullness of the breath, and now completely relax. Big sigh of relief. Try that a couple of more times on your own and know that there is absolutely no rush with this. Take your sweet time to draw in the breath. Pause, maybe pause for 3 or 4 counts. It's okay to hold the breath for a little bit, just for a little bit. And when you're ready, just let it all go. Let's try that maybe just one more time. All right, now if you're seated, I invite you to come to lying down on the floor. Now, one of the safest ways to lie down from seated is to swing your knees over in one direction. And then from the knees over to one side, turn towards the floor and use the hands to walk the body gently down into lying on your side. From lying on the side, we gently begin to roll back. Use the feet to shift and reposition your hips and spine. Once we lie down, let's look up towards the ceiling so that we have the head and neck neutral with your spine. At this point, again, if you want to grab a pillow or maybe even roll up the back of your yoga mat, sometimes that little bit of extra cushioning underneath the head can make a tremendous difference in creating more comfort. Let's all take our feet to about hips width. From here, reach the arms up and overhead. Let's just introduce a nice big stretch to the armpits and the ribs. Reach a little more with your right hand and then a little more with the left. Take in a big breath as if you're going to yawn. And then exhale. Let's lower the hands down beside us. Draw the left knee in towards the chest. Let's place both hands behind the thigh and behind the knee. Go ahead and roll out that left ankle. So before we even think of standing or putting pressure into the feet or into the ankle joints, let's just encourage a little more blood flow and wake up the energy in the feet. So you can roll that foot around. You can point and flex the foot. Sometimes the joints make these little poppy sounds. That's completely natural as fluid starts to move in these joints. As long as you don't see any bright lights or feel nauseous, this is okay if your body is making little sounds. From here, let's go ahead and lower the foot, lifting the right knee, bringing it in towards the chest, wrapping the hands to the sides or back of the knee. Let's point and flex and roll out the right ankle. Now, it is common to notice that one side might feel different from the other. We're going to try to let go of judging one side as better than the other side, just noticing that there's a subtle difference and let it go. Roll out the ankle. Let's encourage a little more blood flow. If you start to feel that there's a bit of warmth in your foot or in your ankle, this could be a sign that there is, in fact, a little more blood flow to those extremities. Let's come to a still point, lower the foot down, take the feet out to what you might feel is hip width, and let's take the hands down to the floor beside us, palms facing down. let the knees sway, maybe with just half your range of motion. So whatever you think a full twist is for your body, only take it through a half twist. So we're just tuning in at this point to the sensations in the low back, in the hips, around the tailbone. Close your eyes. Vision is a wonderful thing. Vision is an incredible blessing. However, it can be really distracting in the practice. We want to learn to practice based on what we're feeling, based on our body sensations. So your body ultimately becomes the guide. Now, as we shift left and right through the knees, notice any tender spots in your low back or in your hips. You might want to push into the feet a little bit and lift the tailbone and then add in that sway. Notice if that creates more or less comfort. You may want to press the tailbone down and add in that sway. If you press the tailbone down, it's going to open the stomach a little bit. So notice again, any tender spots, and just know at any point, you can readjust the hips to move away from those tender spots so that you create more comfort. Let's make this twist just a little bigger. And as we increase the range of motion, as I twist to the right, I'm pushing into my left foot to get a bigger lift on the hip. So it's going to just very gently open up the hip joint and it's going to stretch along the inner thigh. Let's bring it to center. As we twist over to the left, push into your right foot, look to the left. So the head is moving in the direction of the twist. As we push into that right foot, we're lifting the right hip. Let's come through center, practicing that just a couple more times on each side. Twisting to the right, pushing into the left foot. Big inhale into the upper part of your left lung. And now exhale through center. Inhale, twist over to the right, to the left. Push into the right foot, opening the front of the right hip. Breathe into the upper part of the right lung. Move it through center. One more time to each side. Gentle twist. Breathe into the left lung. Release through center. Rounding out the sequence, twist to the left, push into the right foot. And now come to center. Let's walk the feet in a little closer and draw both knees in towards the chest. Hold on to the sides of the thighs, or maybe even behind your kneecaps for comfort. From here, let's extend the legs straight up towards the sky and just simply point and flex the feet. So let's work a deeper stretch into the backs of the legs. Push with the heels, stretch through the calves, little kink or a little bend in the knees so that we don't pull too much on the low back while we're stretching the backs of the legs. Let's take the knees out to hip width, bend the knees and lower the feet. Placing the hands down beside us as we inhale, let's push down into the feet and pull back through your heels, then lift the hips into bridge. Imagine a yoga block between the knees, so you're squeezing in through the thighs and the knees. Notice any extra strain or effort in the buttocks. Try to relax the buttocks region and instead use the energy of the inner thigh and pull back through the heels to get that subtle lift in the body. So in traditional exercise, bridge pose is done with almost the effect of a thrust where you're using a lot of the buttocks. We don't want to do that in yoga. That extra contraction or that thrusting action can actually put too much pressure on the low back. So try to release the buttocks
and instead engage the inner thighs and pull back through the heels. From here, slowly lower the hips. Inhale, bring the arms up and overhead. Exhale, lower the arms down. Inhale, pull back through the heels, engage the inner thighs, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Let's flow this a few more times. Inhale, arms overhead. Coordinating breath and body. Exhale, hands come down. Pressing our palms down into the floor. Use the press of the palms to encourage that additional lift. Inhale, lifting through the hips. Exhale, lower the hips. One more time with the arms. Inhale, arms overhead. Stretch out from the ribs and the armpits. Exhale, let's lower the arms. From here, let's slowly bring those knees into a gentle sway again. Check in with the low back and the rest of the spine. Let the arms move in the opposite direction of your knees. So we're just introducing a little more rotation up through the upper spine and through the neck, head, and shoulders. Looking in the direction of the arms, the knees are twisting in the opposite direction. So once we see the movement and once we get a little familiar with it, we may want to close our eyes and coordinate the movement to the breath. Inhale when the body is transitioning through center. Exhale and twist. So we're wringing out the lungs and wringing out the spine. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling from the throat, softening the jaw. Let's do one more to each side. Now come to neutral. Take a moment from neutral spine, placing hands on the belly. You may want to place your hands so that they're over the belly button with the tips of the thumbs touching and the tips of the index fingers touching. As you inhale, push the belly up into your hands, and then exhale, let the belly drop. Let's try just a couple more like that. As we inhale, the belly rises, and we do want to feel that the hands slightly separate. Exhale, the hands come back together. One more. From wherever you are, let those knees sway over to whatever side feels most comfortable. Let's use our top arm on the floor to press up into an easy seated position. If you have a little bit of yoga mat behind you, maybe roll that yoga mat up from behind you. And let's create a small perch for the hips. Come to the very edge of that perch so that it almost feels as if you're going to drop off the edge. When you feel that little drop, that's the sign that we've got the pelvis tilted back, and usually your low back is more neutral. So hopefully less pain in the back. Take the feet out in front of the body. Maybe have your feet flat, so you're pressing your toes down into your yoga mat or down into the floor. From here, take your hands from palms forward, slide the hands back so the thumbs go past the hips, and we're going to press the palms down into the floor behind us. Now, in any case where you're noticing pain or tenderness in the wrist, which is common in this position, you could always make a fist and have your thumbs forward and maybe take the hands out a little wider. Keep a little bend in the elbows here. From wherever you are, let's let those knees sway just a little bit again. So we're adding in just some gentle rotation with a little more weight bearing in the spine. We're giving the body lots of time to adapt to the weight bearing and lots of time for us to interpret these sensations in the body. Let's tune in again. Is there any tenderness in the low back? Do you feel any part of your bones, maybe with excessive pressure? Readjust yourself at any time so you could come back onto your perch or drop forward onto that perch. Let's add in a rhythmic breath. Exhale on the twist. Look over in the opposite direction of your knees. Inhale through center. Exhale, gazing in the opposite direction. Let's do one more on each side. When you're ready, come to center. Let's come up to seated. Adjust the body on your perch or flat to the floor. Let's stretch our legs out on the floor straight in front of us. Have a little bend in the knees so that we avoid locking out. Inhaling, bringing the arms straight up and overhead. Exhale, arms go to the side, swan dive. Let's walk the hands down to the thighs. From here, as you inhale, push the hips back, pull your belly button down and forward, and try to lift your heart. So we're exaggerating a seated back bend. Open the throat, stretch the lymph nodes through the throat and the jawline. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale from the throat. Let's add in lion's breath here. So for lion's breath, we'll inhale through the nose, keep lifting through your heart. And on the exhale, open your throat and stick out the tongue. Throw the breath forward, drop your chin and drop your head. Let's do that rhythmically 3 or 4 times. Inhale, pull up through the heart, open the throat. Exhale, throw the breath. One or two more. One more, if that feels good for you. If you normally grind your teeth at night, do one more. From here, let's walk our hands in, bending one knee at a time. Let those knees sway over to one side, and let's find all fours position. If your mat is rolled up or bunched up, go ahead and clear the space. If you're noticing any pain in the wrist, we could again use fists for wrists or come down onto your elbows for the next few movements. From wherever you are, as you inhale, drop the belly and lengthen through the spine, open through the throat into cow. Exhale, pull the navel up and drop your head and neck for cat. Look back at your feet. Notice if you want to touch your toes. Sometimes this is more comfortable on the low back. Or separate the feet and keep the knees a little closer together. From wherever you are with your foundation, inhale, gentle bend in the elbows, lengthen through the spine into cow. Exhale from the throat and round the spine into cat. Let's match the movement to the breath. Inhale, lengthen, and exhale, round. Initiate the movement from the belly button. So as you inhale, you're hinging through the waistline. Exhale, pulling up through the waistline. As you inhale, lengthening the spine, feel the shoulders pressing back towards the hips. So you get a little bit of a contraction right at the waist. Exhale, rounding the body, tucking the navel up and in towards the spine. Pull the tailbone down and forward, using the hips with the initiation of the waist muscles. Inhale, lengthen. One more. Exhale, contract. Pull through the waistline. Let's hold it here in cat pose. Drop the head and the neck. Let's shake the head yes. Turn it left and right. Relax your jaw. Exhale, just like lion's breath. This could pull tension out of the back too. Big exhale. From here, let's find neutral spine. From neutral, looking between the hands, let's slowly think of what foot might want to step forward first. From wherever we are, bringing one foot forward, bringing a hand up onto the thigh for support. And now tuck the back toe. Let's bring our other foot forward and we'll hang loose. Hands can be on the thighs or even on your shins. Relax the head and the neck. Just hold it here. And as you hang loose, again, shake the head yes, and turn the head left and right. From wherever you are, walk the hands up halfway towards the thighs or shins. At this point, remembering cat and cow pose, hinge from the waist and the hips. Push the hips back, drop the belly, look up, maybe even open your throat just a little bit. From here, let's walk the hands up a little more and a little more until we come all the way up into standing. All right, let's get our adjustment of the camera. Good morning, everybody. All right. So even though you cannot see my feet, I just want to reassure you that all of the movements today are going to be very conservative with the feet. So let's start by taking the feet out first, just to hips width. So the feet on their own are only going to be as wide as your hips. At any time, if you take a wider stance, this could create more pressure on the hip joints. So from wherever you are, both toes are forward. Let's inhale the arms up and overhead. Take a big breath in, reaching towards the sky. And now exhale, swan dive. Come halfway down, placing the hands on the thighs and pushing the hips behind you. Take your gaze forward and down to the floor. From here, round the spine, tucking the tailbone under, drop the head and the neck. So we're stretching along the sides of the spine. Inhale, coming into a standing cow, pressing the hips back, lengthening through the spine. Inhale, reverse the swan dive, load into the feet, arms go to the side, flip the palms, and let's stand all the way up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, take the arms up overhead. Exhale, swan dive, hands to the thighs, pressing the hips back, coming down about halfway. Big inhale in place. Exhale, round the spine, standing cat. Inhale, hips go back, flat back, standing cow. Hold it there, load into the feet. Let's release our hands to the side. Press into the feet, reverse swan dive. Big breath in. Exhale, hands to the heart. So let's practice that sequence one more time with the mechanics of loading into the legs and taking tension out of the spine. Inhale, arms coming up and overhead. Exhale, halfway down, hands to the thighs. Lengthen through the spine, looking slightly forward, just a little bit. Big inhale. Exhale, tuck the tailbone down, pull up through the navel, round the spine, drop the head and the neck. Inhale, release the hips back, lengthen through the spine, load into the feet, feel all parts of the feet firmly connecting to the earth. Little bend in the knees, reverse swan dive. Inhale, come up. Exhale, hands to the heart.
From here, let's take just the left arm up and overhead, looking up towards that left hand. Lower the right hand down. Imagine you're reaching for the outside of your right foot. Standing lateral flexion, reaching straight up, imagining that you're holding on to 100 helium balloons. We can look up at the hand, straight ahead, or down over the right shoulder. Press a little more into the outer blade of the left foot. Feel as if the outer part of your left foot is just sinking down into the earth while reaching towards the sky. Now let's find the breath in the upper left lung and under the left armpit as we inhale. Notice on the inhale that upper left lung and under the armpit is the most open space to breathe into. Reach with the inhale. Exhale all the way. Let's add in that big reach, breathing into the left lung. And now exhale, slowly lower that arm. Let's take our right arm up and overhead. Big inhale, reaching straight up towards the sky. Press into the outer blade of that right foot while you reach. So there are these two completely opposite energies in the body that we're going to unite to create balance. The waist, from the waist up to your right armpit through your right fingertips, the energy is moving up. From the waist to the right hip, down to the foot, the energy goes down. Reach down with the left hand towards the outside of the foot. Notice the position of the head and neck. We can look up. This is very traditional, but it also puts the most stress on your neck. You could look ahead or look over the left shoulder. Work with gravity. Let's add in that big inhale around the right lung. Exaggerate the breath. Pull it in. Reach with the breath. Exhale. The muscles are going to snap back just a little bit. 2 more big breaths. Inhale. Exhale. There's a little bit of retraction. 1 more big exaggerated breath. Breathe into that effortless space under the right armpit. Reach up. And now exhale. Let's lower both hands. All right, I'm going to reposition this just a little bit. Let's see. I'm in a new room today, guys. So let's just see if I can get the angle a little better. There we go. I think this is going to work much better. All right, so let's have our feet to about hips width or maybe a little more narrow. So find where the pelvis bones are instead of the fleshy hip, and then line up your knees, ankles, and feet with the pelvis bones. So sometimes in order to find this positioning, if you're newer to these yoga practices, you can make a fist with your hands and the thumbs out. If you put the fist right here on your pelvis bones and stick out the thumbs, you'd want to have maybe your middle toe, second toe lined up with your thumbs. And that's how you'll know that your feet are probably in the safest bone alignment. From wherever you are, let's bring the hands up overhead. Open the palms, reach towards the sky. Let's take our left foot back, a very short stride here. Bending the right knee, we're finding a casual warrior 1 expression. Notice the position of the hips. If you find your left hip opening, encourage that left hip to pull forward so you keep both hips tracking forward for this movement. From here, let's exhale, bringing both hands down onto the top of the right thigh. Keep a heavy bend in that right knee and push back into the left heel. Let's slowly flip the hips back, finding a flat back. We're coming down only a third or halfway at the most. Turn your left fingertips towards the right and take the right hand to your low back. So we're adding in a nice big stretch from your left hip to your right shoulder. Let's look over the right shoulder. Inhale into that upper right lung. Big breath in. Notice how the breath can encourage the twist. There's really not so much effort that we have to put into this twist. One more big inhale into your upper right lung, keeping that bend in the right knee. Hold it there, push back into the left heel. You can look over the right shoulder or in alignment with the heart, or just a little bit down and forward, maybe more looking just in front of your right foot. As an option today, if you want to take that right hand away from the back, maybe lift it up as if you're trying to wave to someone walking towards you. Inhale, reach through the fingertips with the twist. When you're ready, exhale, let's slowly lower that hand. Bring both hands onto the front thigh. From here, turn the left heel in, just a little bit in. So now the left hip is going to begin to open. Let's take our left arm forward and circle it around just 2 or 3 times. Inhale to open. Exhale as the arm reaches back. We can always do this with an elbow, especially in cases of frozen shoulder or neck pain. The bigger movement is not always the better movement. So at any time, take it slow. From here, let's take our left hand to the low back. And as you inhale, come up with the spine, keeping that bend in the right knee. Let's turn the right palm up. Scoop up your breath. Inhale, reach straight up towards the sky with that right hand. We can look up in alignment with the heart or look back over your left shoulder. This is reverse warrior. Big inhale into the upper right lung. Exaggerate the breath. Stretch from the side waist. Notice if there's a bend in the right knee. Try keeping that bend in the right knee. We want to isolate that stretch along the side waist and ribs. When you're ready, slowly come to center. Let's bring our hands to the hips. Lifting the back heel. Come forward and let's step to mountain. Let's reset the spine with a few easy breaths. Inhale, fly the arms overhead. Exhale, take the hands back and around. Big backstroke movement. Option to close the eyes. Notice where is the breath going in the body? Where does the breath naturally move to? The breath, the life force, all on its own. It's going to move into those places where it senses the least resistance. So just notice, where is that place in your body where there is the least amount of resistance? That's the place where there is the most peace in the body. When you're ready, bring the hands to the heart. Let's establish our strong mountain foundation. Hips at pelvis, feet at pelvis bone width. Let's take our right foot back, a short stride. Bending the left knee. Checking in with the alignment of the hips. Both hips are squared forward for stability. Push down and back into that right heel and come forward. Inhale, arms come up and overhead. Nice big circle. Reaching through both fingertips. If there's any pain in your neck, in your jaw, in your spine, even pain in the trunk of the body or knees, you might want to lower the arms. If there's any pain in the body, bring the arms down. Let's hold it here in our strong warrior one expression. Lower your chin enough so that an egg could roll off your head. So we want to relax the line of energy that moves behind the neck, along the spine, all the way to the tailbone. Press down into that right heel. One more big inhale. Exhale, swan dive, both hands onto the left thigh. Push the hips back. Let's come down with a flat back. It'll be either a third or halfway at the most. When in doubt, just take it easy on this movement. Hips are flipped back just like cow pose that the body has practiced. From here, let's take our right hand, turn the fingertips out to the left. Take the left hand, knuckles to the low back. Naturally, we're beginning to open towards the left. We might want to reposition the head and neck for comfort. Let's use the breath to initiate the twist. So there's no active torquing of the spine, but instead notice how the lungs are going to encourage the twist. Breathe into your upper left lung. Hold it there, exhale. Exaggerate that inhale again. Big breath in. Exhale. One more. Exhale. Let's hold it in the twist. Imagine that you're trying to rotate your knees in and your thighs together and then push back into that right heel. So we want to anchor that energy in the lower body. Now, when you're ready, option to extend that left arm up. Maybe even take it over. Hold it there. Breathe along the side of your left lung. Exaggerate the breath. Big inhale. Exhale. One more. When you're ready, let's lower the left hand first. Reposition the spine to neutral. Flip the hips back. Let's lift the right heel and turn it in. Opening the right hip. We're in this very conservative stance of a warrior two. Let's take our right hand, take it forward and around, either with a long arm or with an elbow circle. Inhale as you open, stretching along the ribs of the right side of the body. Exhale as you close and contract. One more. Inhale, open. Exhale, contract. Let's take the right knuckles to the low back. Looking down at the floor, open the left palm, scoop up the breath, inhale. Keep bending that left knee. We can look up, neutral, or even behind us. Inhaling into the left lung, under the left armpit. Big breath in. Notice the extension. Notice how the pose is accentuated by the lungs filling with air. Inhale with the reach. Exhale, little bit of contraction. One more. When you're ready, relax the left arm. Let's bring our hands to the hips. Slowly turning the hips forward. We lift that back heel and pivot, and then step forward. Let's shake out the knees. Let's practice 3 flying breaths with the arms to center the body. Option to close the eyes so that the body begins to balance a little more. So before we go to our standing balancing pose of the day, step 1 is standing on both feet with the eyes closed, tuning into the breath. Absolutely no rush. 1 or 2 more breaths like this. When it feels right for you, let's bring both hands together at the heart and press the thumbs into the center of the chest. We can open our eyes at any time to create a greater sense of stability. When we do this, we want to have the chin down and our gaze past the nose to one point on the floor. So find one point. Soften your eyelids. So we're eliminating as much tension as possible in the mind, in the face, eliminating tension that might move down to the rest of the body. Let's soften ourselves. Let your body shift a little bit left and right, and notice if you feel a sense of confidence more on the left or the right side of the body. So just notice as you feel the weight moving into one foot, where is there more comfort? Where is there more confidence or stability? When you find that space, web out your toes like a duck. Slowly begin to lift the other leg. So maybe we start with just peeling up the heel, and then maybe we lift the toe, pressing back a little bit through that foot. You could always have the toe on the ground behind you or lift the foot away, moving into an expression of flamingo today. When you're ready, you can open the hands up, almost like opening up wings. We're just going to gently open through the arms. At any time, give the body a little bit of more support. Reach out for a wall, a chair, if you have a table or a countertop nearby. Give your body that sense of support. No matter where we are, the head is relaxed. The chest is open. Let's stay here just a little longer and let's practice our surprise breath. Exhale all the way. On the count of 3, you're just going to act surprised. Exhale. 1, 2, 3. Little lift. Exhale all the way. 1, 2, 3, surprise. Little lift. Relax. One more time. 1, 2, 3, surprise. And then relax. Wherever you are, let's step both feet down to the ground. Bring the hands to the heart. Let's establish neutral for the body. Shift into the other side. Web out the toes. Soft through the knees. Let's lift our other leg or keep the toe grounded. Press back through the foot or toe to the ground. Open up into the full flamingo expression. Lead with your heart, lift through the chest, lower the head, look down towards the floor, past the tip of your nose. Adding in that surprise breath, exhale all the way. 1, 2, 3. Lift through the heart, hold the breath, and now relax. 2 more. 1, 2, 3. Relax. 1, 2, 3. And then relax. When you're ready, let's step our foot down and lower our arms. Shake everything out. Give the body an opportunity to kind of work out any busy energy. From here, we are coming down to the floor. To safely come down to the floor, if you have a table or a wall nearby, I'll recommend that you use it. From wherever you are, we face our prop, taking one foot back, lowering down, put the hands down on the thigh or the knee for support. Take our other knee down, only here for a moment, swing the feet around, and then come down into seated on the floor. From seated, let's practice just a little bit of breathing before we lie down for meditation. So there's a specific breathing technique we can do to help to balance left and right hemispheres of the brain. After we do this breathing technique, you may decide that you want to stay seated upright. That's very common for a morning yoga class. And if you want to lie down, of course, you can lie down. So let's take our hand, whether you're left-handed or right-handed, just take one of your hands, take your peace fingers and fold them down. From here, we're going to inhale through both nostrils. And now take your thumb, close off the outside of the right nostril and just exhale out the left. Inhale, release, breathe in through both. Use the ring finger, close off the left, exhale out the right. Let's practice alternating just on the exhale. Inhale through both. Close off the right, exhale left. Inhale through both. Close off the left, exhale right. Let's try this just a couple more times. Maybe just one more time on each side. When you're ready, breathe in through both nostrils. Easy does it. Lower the chin. Relax the shoulders. Maybe turn the palms up. Notice if your body wants to stay seated upright. So maybe you know that you tend to fall asleep during meditation. If you fall asleep, I recommend that you stay seated today. That way we can work on repairing the nervous system without falling asleep. If you know that lying down on your back is just more comfortable and less distracting, go ahead and get comfortable on your back. Let's take a minute to get comfortable. Elevate your hips. Your feet and your legs can be in any position that's comfortable for you. Notice if your feet are cold, maybe grab a blanket or fold your yoga mat over your feet. Be aware of your neck and head. If you're lying down, grab a pillow. Let's take the hands out to the side. They're close to the body with the palms up. So as soon as we rotate the palms up, this can naturally bring the shoulders back. Know that at any time you can change the position of your body, move into those places where you suspect the most comfort. We want to have as much comfort as possible, which means as little distraction as possible from the physical body. Now, once you get comfortable, let's become aware of the palm of the right hand and imagine that there is heat in the palm of your hand. Shift your awareness to the other palm. Imagine heat there. So now there's heat in the palms of both hands, energy. As we inhale, we feel this heat moving from the palms of both hands up the arms and into the heart. And then breathe in, noticing a warmth flooding the heart, flooding the chest. When you exhale, relax the chest and maybe feel that there's an energy that draws out from the heart, out from the arms, and then it leaves from the palm of your hands. You may have a sense of that heat. It might appear to you from the mind's eye as orbs of light. It could even be gold flames of energy. If you don't see it now, that's okay. Just have a sense of a flame, an energy that is warm in your hands. And as you inhale, you draw that warm energy into the heart. Feel that warmth bathing over the body as you inhale. And then exhale, releasing any stagnant energy, any stress or tension. Inhaling warm, gold light exhaling bright white light. Let's stay with that presence of warmth that moves into the body, and then a releasing of stress on the exhale. If you want, for the next quiet minute, add in a chant from the mind. As we inhale, we draw in the sound ah as we breathe in that warm energy. And we hear the sound E as we release this bright white light. Let's try this for one quiet minute. Inhale, ah, warm energy. Exhale, E. Now listen to your body. Notice if your body wants to stay here a little longer. As this concludes our time together, if you know that you have something you need to do or somewhere you need to go, you may want to just deepen your breath, introduce some gentle movement, and eventually come up to seated and just take your time to move into the day. If you have time right now and you know that you can stay here a little longer, I invite you to stay with this meditation a little longer. Inhaling ah, exhaling E. For each one of us, the practice is so personal. Surely we don't all need the exact same time in meditation. So when your body says it's done, it's done. If your body needs more, please stay a little longer. In closing our practice today, we can bring our hands together at the heart. Namaste, everyone. Enjoy your beautiful day. I'll see you next week.